I just want to get this room audio and do a quick little check, or at least have somebody on it. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Microphone check. Cronkite, can you hear me? Thank you very much. Who's that next to you? All right, we're good. just left my phone.
All the city secrets right there. Fancy team monitor.
Exactly. All of a sudden, like,
Are you sure to go on? Just so I'm still like.
Oh my God.
Which I don't know why. Like, we have a good team. We have a good team. I don't care what you say.
He's just not getting the ball because he's not the easiest open target for them. That's why Stephon Diggs.
Stop it, okay?
I'm telling you, right now they're already saying Kansas City is the front runner, Jets runner too.
I hope Jack Jones will line them up. I hope Crosby comes and he will. He'll find a way. Want to. You know Tyreek.
I don't even know if I beat anybody else. I went off. I gotta make sure I won.
Tyreek didn't go off.
But his team still wreaked havoc though.
I would have to change my team name. I got Slim Pickens.
I got Mitch this week, so you already see that. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely dropping the Kyler name because he sucks. Yeah,
As a Cardinals fan,
I think you want to be out.
nice and warm down there, guys. All right.
afternoon. Oh, is this on? Can you hear me?
Trying to hand my.
Can you hear me? Nope. And my sign language is going to work.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We are so delighted that you're here. We're just about ready to get started. If everyone could please take a seat. If you haven't already, there's water and a cookie for you in the back. Come on forward. There's plenty of room in the front.
We're going to get started in like a minute.
In a minute, then we'll just turn it on. This one's on. So we can test the mic. Can you get one more of those mics so we can test the audio?
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Please find a seat. We are going to get started momentarily. Can you hear me okay?
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Thumbs up if you got me. Check, check, check. I just turned this out. I'm doing a mic check. You're good. Check, check, check. Who's 12 News? Ram. Who's your photon? Far left? Far left? Chris? You got me? I mean, everybody else has me. You got room audio as well. So, I mean, that's good. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's just 12.
And that one?
This one? Or do you want to wait?
Well, I don't know.
Or we can wait till the last minute? This mic is set. This mic is hot. Okay.
I don't know about this heat wave.
Where's Mayor Childs?
not gonna make the ring. I'll see you.
Thanks for being here.
Jack.
Francesca?
We're calling him right now. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Can you all hear me? Okay. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. If you could all please take your seats. We have a lengthy program today, so we're going to try and get through it quickly and let you get on with your days. And I do want to thank you for being here. We have a star-studded lineup. After all, this is the event that many of us have waited for a very long time. And there's no doubt it has been the hottest ticket in town for quite some time, but it is finally here, ladies and gentlemen, the City of Phoenix roast of Greg Stanton. Welcome. All right, not quite, but many of those things are true. We do have a great list of speakers, and look at this room. We have a very distinguished group of people here. It has been one heck of a hot ticket, and we are here to honor a truly exceptional leader. Councilman Stanton, Mayor Stanton, Congressman Stanton. It is worth being excited for today. For the handful of people in this room who do not know me, my name is Seth Scott. I started working for Greg during his time as mayor and ultimately had the honor of being his chief of staff both at the City of Phoenix and on Capitol Hill. And although we remain very good friends, we still talk almost every day. I left his Hill office a little more than a year ago, and I'm happy to report that much of my gray hair has started to turn brown again. That is one of the benefits to leaving the Stanton office, and I want to thank those who noticed earlier today. Now, a few folks have asked me, now, how did you get to be the MC today? Two reasons, really. First, I was voluntold. That's why I'm up here. And second, there was some speculation that the congressman thought it was a clever way to get his longest-serving staff member to say nice things about him in public. But the truth is, I'm deeply honored. When you work with someone every day for more than a decade, as Greg and I did, especially when they call you very late at night and very early in the morning, you get to know them. You get to know their values, what drives them, who they're fighting for. And I can say without equivocation that Arizona is so incredibly lucky to have Greg Stanton representing us in Congress, and we are so fortunate that he was our mayor here in the city of Phoenix. Time and time again, he has stood up when it was not politically convenient to make Phoenix a better place for everyone, to deliver justice for everyone. Under his leadership, Phoenix was the first city in Arizona to adopt a non-discrimination ordinance. He led the way to repair relationships with Mexico and our Latino community after SB 1070. And you'll hear about this more, but he made the decision when it was not easy to make the case to voters for expanding transit because he knew it would help people the most. In Greg's office, we had a North Star that informed every decision. Politics is about improving people's lives. Greg Stanton is the embodiment of that, and I am forever grateful to you, Greg, for having the opportunity to work with you for so very long. I appreciate that. Before we move on to the more illustrious speakers, I want to take a moment to recognize, my script says some, but many of the dignitaries we have here, because it's about half of the room. So if you'll just stick with me for a minute and we'll get through this list together. It's 3 pages long, and that was not a joke. First of all, we have
our great mayor, who's speaking next, Kate Gallego, our vice mayor, Deborah Stark, council members Jim Waring, Laura Pastor, Carlos Galinda Elvira, Keisha Hodge Washington. Thank you all for being here. We have former council members here today, Claude Maddox, Peggy Bilstein, and Craig Tripkin. And another great mayor, Terry Goddard. So there he is, We also have some of our very talented staff here. Our city manager, Jeff Barton. I saw him earlier. There he is. Jeff Barton is here. Deputy City Manager Mario Paniagua, Gina Montes, and Alan Stevenson. Our transit director, who will be running the show over the Stanton Central Station soon, Jesus Sapien. Our chiefs, Mike Duran, our fire chief, and our incredible police chief, Mike Sullivan. From the city of Mesa, Mayor John Giles is here. I haven't seen Vice Mayor Frankie Heredia, but he's on his way, as well as Councilwoman Jen Duff. From the city of Tempe, Mayor Corey Woods. Councilwomen Burdetta Hodge and Jennifer Adams. And former Mayor Neil Giuliano. We have some incredible folks from our congressional, the House of Representatives today. Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is here. Assistant Democratic leader Joe Neguse of Colorado. Soon to be former House member Ruben Gallego. We're all confident you'll gain another title soon. Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury of New Mexico is here. Thank you so much for being here. There she is. And I'm happy to say Congresswoman-elect Yasemin Ansari is here today. Governor Stephen Rowe Lewis of the Gila River Indian Community. Lieutenant Governor Regina Antone. The Corporation Commissioner Anna Tovar is on her way. We have a few state representatives here today, Lorna Austin and Seth Blattman of District 9. Representative Stacey Travers of my district, District 12. Her colleague, Senator Mitzi Epstein. And Representative Deborah Nardozzi. From Maricopa County, the chairman of the board is here, Jack Sellers. It's so good to see him. We appreciate you very much, Chairman. From the city of Chandler, Mayor Kevin Harkey is here on stage. Vice Mayor Odie Harris. And council members Angel Encinas and Christine Ellis. From the city of Avondale, Mayor Kenneth Weiss. From the city of Maricopa, Councilmember Henry Wade. Vice Mayor John Edwards of Peoria. Our MAG Executive Director, Ed Zerker, is here. We have two former state lawmakers, Jen Longden and Lorenzo Sierra, here. And I just saw another one of our fantastic deputy city managers. I thought she was still on vacation, but she's here, Ginger Spencer as well. It's very good to see. And of course, some of the most distinguished, hardworking people I know. I want to recognize Congressman Stanton's staff and alums. Could you all please stand for just one moment and be recognized? Thank you. Oh my goodness. All right, now let's get on to the show. I am happy to represent someone who's continued the tradition of having incredible Phoenix mayors. very popular person in this room, Mayor Kate Gallego.
What a day. It is so fabulous to be with a group of current mayors, former mayors, council members, an impressive collection of the leaders from around the valley, and an impressive couple leaders of Capitol Hill, including a future Speaker of the House. All here to honor our friend and colleague, Greg Stanton. This is the third time in recent years we've gathered to honor a former mayor of Phoenix. And we do so today for a very fitting honor, to celebrate the naming of the Greg Stanton Central Station. In just a few months, the Stanton Central Station will be the buzzing hub of the Valley's regional transit system. It will bear the name of one of the great transportation leaders in Arizona history, and it is born of the collective efforts of so many people in this room. It's taken decades of hard work by dozens of local leaders to build our multimodal, high-capacity transit system. Together, we share a common bond, and we know that our whole system is greater than the sum of its parts. Today, the system is thriving. We see 30 miles of light rail in our system, but it's easy to forget what a battle it was to get here. I start the history with a visionary leader, Terry Goddard, who fought so hard and made the argument for this system. It was a tough battle. A ballot measure in 1997 lost by fewer than 150 votes. After that defeat, Mayor Skip Rimza and Councilmember Peggy Bilstein were persistent. They worked hard and helped voters understand the tremendous benefits of the plan and brought it back to the ballot 2 years later. Voters approved Transit 2000, a 20-year plan that improved our woefully inadequate local bus service and created our light rail system. Maricopa County voters helped 4 years later when they approved Proposition 400. Fast forward a few years, and we arrived at a pivotal moment. In 2015, planning for our future was becoming an increasingly difficult task because the transit tax was on a path to sunset. In many ways, we were stuck. That same year, the incumbent mayor was also going to be on the ballot for re-election. And putting a transit tax that had previously failed twice on the same ballot as his re-election was a bit risky. Many politicians would have avoided that risk, but we're so fortunate that the person who made the decision was Greg Stanton. Because rather than do the convenient thing, he chose to do what was right. He chose to lead. Not only did Greg put the measure on the same ballot, he asked voters to increase the tax to support a new plan to guarantee funding for 35 years. It was a visionary investment in fighting climate change. With today's weather, we know how vital that is for the city of Phoenix. It was, at the time, the most ambitious municipal transportation plan in the nation, to triple the number of light rail tracks in Phoenix, to expand bus service and dial-a-ride, to overhaul 1,000 miles of roadway. And with Greg's leadership, Phoenix won. Great mayors are willing to do hard things, pushing forward even when there is a risk, confident in their ability to persuade the public to reach the right result and shape the future. That kind of leadership can change the community for the better and improve the lives of the people we serve. And by that measure, Greg Stanton was a great mayor, and he continues to be an incredible advocate for Phoenix as a member of Congress. May the station that bears his name be a continuous reminder of his service to our city and the courage he showed to take our transit system to new heights.
Next, we'll have Mayor Giles, Mayor Woods, and Mayor Harkin.
You know, I didn't come prepared for a roast today, so I wish I would have known. This would have been a lot more fun, actually. But I am so honored and pleased to be here to celebrate the leadership of my good friend, Congressman Stanton. This is an amazing facility, and the entire region is very envious and very proud at the same time of all of the amazing puzzle pieces that have come together as a result of decades of wise planning and advocacy to see this come to pass. It truly is very impressive. But the most important piece of the puzzle for this facility and for the very robust and and wonderful, in comparison to other metros in the United States, superior transit system. The puzzle piece that's not perhaps obvious is leadership. None of these things, this wouldn't be happening. All of the components that come together wouldn't be happening absent someone behind the curtain and in front of the curtain nudging and cajoling and arguing, doing whatever it took to make this happen. And so that's why we name facilities after people, right? I mean, Greg Stanton, I assure you, doesn't need an ego trip of having something named after him. That's, for those of you who know Greg, you know that that's meaningless to him. What is meaningful is for all of us to take advantage of the name that's attached to this facility. By bringing our children and our grandchildren and the people that are involved in trying to make this a better community and saying, let me tell you about the guy whose name is on this building. Let me tell you why it's on this building. It's not just because he was the mayor of Phoenix. It's because he was a leader. It's because public transit was not a popular subject when this man came into office. I would argue that it became popular because of Greg Stanton and because of his advocacy. So again, I would, Greg, congratulations. I think none of us, a lot of people have suspected that you were just eye candy when it comes to politics. But it's good to reaffirm that there's some substance attached to Greg Stanton in it as well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I would encourage you. Well, I see some of my friends from Mesa. Let me tell you about a couple of facilities here in Mesa. I'll do this really quickly. We put a couple of people's names on facilities in Mesa. One is a former city manager. The other is a woman who started a new leaf in our city. Now, why did we do that? It's not because those people, again, needed any more accolades than they received during their careers, but it's an amazing opportunity for us to inspire our youth, for inspire current leaders to have the courage that it takes to lead. So again, on behalf of Greg, on behalf of a grateful community, on behalf of a grateful congressional district that you continue to serve, let me point out, I hope this doesn't feel like we're looking back or that this is a funeral or something. Greg Stanton, don't you all feel, when it comes to Greg Stanton, don't you feel like this is just the beginning? That this is something? So as much as Greg's accomplished, I think it's going to pale in comparison, soon to be Speaker Jeffries. I think, you know, this is a Ways and Means chairman right here. I don't say that flippantly. You could not do better as a Ways and Means chairman than this gentleman right here. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please come back. Please make sure that you explain to everybody that you know why this man's name is on this building. Thank you very much.
So Congressman Greg Stanton and I both served as council members at the same time in Phoenix and in Tempe, respectively. And as such, we've had opportunities to work on various projects together. And in 2008, we both celebrated the start of light rail service to our respective communities. But over the years, Congressman Stanton and I have seen the tremendous difference that transit, especially light rail, has made in our community. In Tempe alone, there were nearly 2 million boardings just last year. That's ASU students getting to classes, a workforce going to the office, and people on their way home to their families. Light rail has created significant investment in Tempe and Phoenix and Mesa, bringing everything from a James Beard-nominated restaurant and the nation's first car-free housing development to thousands of new housing units for veterans, students, and those who benefit from quality, affordable housing. Those kinds of improvements, as all of our other speakers have talked about today, don't happen without vision and foresight. Congressman Stanton has been providing that kind of leadership since he took office back in 2000, and he's never forgotten the needs of cities like Phoenix, Mesa, and Tempe during his time in Congress. He continues to fight for funding for projects like the Tempe Modern Streetcar and its expansion, for affordable housing projects, and of course for so much more. But Greg Stanton is much more than a great community leader to me. He's been a close friend and a mentor for years. So I'm proud to stand here today to see him honored for his work to improve transportation and our communities, and to see this station named after him. Congratulations, my friend.
Well, what an incredible honor to be on a stage and a room full of dreamers, dream makers, and community changers. And this is the place, and this is the stage for that. Congressman Stanton said that when he called me up that I could say whatever I wanted. He said whatever. So I guess he trusts me a little bit. Anyway, what a great occasion, what a great opportunity, what a great event today. And this region, our region in this event, also illustrates how smart strategic investments in transportation can shape the future of our communities. That impacts how we live, how we work, how we move. And Congressman Stanton, Greg was instrumental in regional planning and transportation investments as a Phoenix council member, as a Phoenix mayor, and certainly now as our congressman. He continues to be a tireless advocate for our region. As our mayor in Congress, he understands firsthand the challenges that cities and towns face. And he works daily to ensure that our communities, especially the East Valley, where he represents, receives resources, investments, and the ear of Washington. And whether it's planning for Arizona's water future, investing in infrastructure, securing CHIPS Act funding for semiconductor manufacturing, Greg's commitment has been and will continue to be unwavering. And through this historic bipartisan infrastructure law, he leveraged opportunities to boost our community's economy, enhance our mobility, and improve the quality of lives of residents across our region. He's been instrumental in making sure that we are ready for the future through his advocacy. So Greg, we are especially grateful for your commitment to our state, to our region. Your leadership exemplifies what does it mean to serve and make our community better. Together, not just on this stage, not just Congressman Stanton, but everyone in this room, we're building a better, more connected, and more prosperous Arizona. Thank you.
All right, next is our friend and our congressman for this area, Ruben Gallego.
Well, Greg did not say I could say what I wanted. He actually gave me a binder of a speech. I don't know what that is, Greg, but it's my district, so I have the prerogative of now saying whatever I want. But first of all, it's a pleasure to be here, not just to talk about a colleague, but really a dear and close personal friend. Welcome to the heart of Phoenix. And if you look at what's happening down here, it is a city that is being built and has been a city that's been built for quite a while on the backs of leaders, great mayors of Phoenix, starting with Mayor Gallego, Mayor Stanton, Mayor Phil Gordon, and Mayor Goddard, and other great civic leaders also that are here in this room. The story of really Arizona can be tied to what the movement happened here in Phoenix. When we were many moons ago trying to turn this economy around, it was the leadership here, led by people like Greg Stanton, that has made this into the the driver of the economy of this country for going forward for the next 50 years. And it's because of the dedication of Greg to do that. And when I say dedication, I have known this man now since 2007. Where he's very nice. He says that when he introduces himself to people in D.C. that we used to work together. That's not true. Greg used to boss me around. But he was a great boss, and he was actually, and still is, someone that I admire, someone that I take a lot of advice from, and someone that I know is going to be continuing the great tradition of leadership here in Arizona to make sure that we have this amazing state and we preserve it. And this type of transportation is a great example of that. Yes, we're putting down some infrastructure, some rail, but this is also an amazing infrastructure of opportunity for a lot of kids that I represent in South Phoenix, an area that Mayor Gallego knows very well and Mayor Stanton knows very well. A lot of people there do not actually have access to a vehicle. It's the largest population in Maricopa County without a vehicle. This rail is finally going to be able to connect that young student at ASU downtown to go back home to South Phoenix. Or for us, many of us, we don't actually even have access to a hospital. It's going to be able for us to actually have access to a couple hospitals now from South Phoenix. For that family that wants to go to that ASU football game, they're now going to be able to do that without having to borrow a car. So the work that we're doing here, the work that Congressman Stanton has done as a mayor, being on the Transportation Committee, and just being an overall architectural leader of the Valley is truly going to be impacting hundreds of thousands of lives that would not have that access. So that name on that station is richly deserved because you have changed millions of people's lives for time going forward. And we are lucky to have you. Congressman, it's weird to say Congressman, I always call him Mayor, Mayor, Mayor. But it's great to have you, Greg, and love being your friend, and I can't wait to continue working together. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most impressive rising stars on Capitol Hill from the great state of Colorado, House Assistant Democratic Leader Joe Neguse.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And good afternoon. What a privilege it is to be here. I'm still stuck on Mayor Giles' comment about Greg being eye candy, which we'll distribute that to the rest of the caucus back in Washington. It is great to be here in Phoenix with such a distinguished group of citizens, of course, to Mayor Gallego, to all of the mayors, to my colleagues in Congress. The fact that you have so many elected officials, public servants, and the next speaker, the Democratic leader of the U.S. House of Representatives and the next Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, all descending here in Phoenix for this important event is a testament to Greg Stanton's leadership and how much we value his leadership in Washington. And as Ruben alluded to, they don't tell you when you're running for Congress that you will necessarily make lifelong friendships. But I have been very lucky to have one in Greg. Greg and I came into Congress together in 2018, and it's been a real privilege to be able to be his friend and to see the work that he has done in Congress as the lead, the vice-ranking member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, the work that he did to get the bipartisan infrastructure law across the finish line just 3 short years ago. He is one of my closest friends in Congress, and it is a privilege to be able to come here to see this tribute that this community has bestowed upon him and his family with this fitting naming on Central Station. I'd like to think that as travelers, as residents of this community and beyond, see his name on this station, they will think not just of his time as mayor and his time as a city councilman, his time, of course, now as a member of Congress, but they'll think about his story. And his story is a fairly straightforward one. It's an inspiring one. It's a story of a young man who grew up not far from here in West Phoenix, Cortez High School graduate, a young man who every day watched as his father rode the bus to his retail sales job to provide for his family, a young man who understood at an early age what it means for working families to have access to transit, a young man who watched his father take that same bus to church, to volunteer, to coach a local basketball team, who understood what public transit means in terms of furthering the bonds that exist between us as citizens, the civic infrastructure that's such a critical component of every state and every community in our country. A young man who experiences that, leaves, goes to some of the best colleges in the country, law school, and comes back to this community so that he can build and expand those transit opportunities for the next generation, who makes a politically courageous decision 10 years ago as Mayor Gallego referenced, a courageous decision to step forward and make the case to the people in this community that these investments were worth making. I'd like to think that residents will learn that story as they Google Greg Stanton's name when they come through Stanton Central Station. And I know, by the way, that Greg and Nicole and Trevor and Violet lost Greg's father earlier this year in January. And I firmly believe he's looking down now with great pride at his son's name, his name, being placed on Central Station. So to Greg, we say thank you for your service, for your leadership, for all that you've done and all that we know you'll continue to do. And to the residents of Phoenix and Arizona, I can just simply tell you that with Greg Stanton at the helm, the best days are yet to come. Thank you.
Folks, the Democratic leader in the United States House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What an honor. Thank you. Thank you, Seth, for presiding over this program in such an incredible way, and for your leadership to Mayor Gallego, Mayor Woods, Mayor Giles, and Mayor Hartkey. There are a lot of mayors in the building right now. Commissioner Tovar, Congressman Neguse, Congresswoman Stanton, of course to Congressman Ruben Gallego, all of my colleagues in government, and to the man of the hour, Greg Stanton, to Nicole, to the entire Stanton family and all those assembled. It's an honor and a distinct privilege to join you all today at the newly renamed ceremony for the Greg Stanton Central Station. That has a nice ring to it. So I got off the plane, it was over 100 degrees outside. And I realized I'm not in Brooklyn anymore. But what an honor to be with all of you during this incredible renaming ceremony. Throughout his distinguished career in public service, Greg has always put people over politics. On behalf of the people of Phoenix and the East Valley, he has been, and in Congress continues to be, a principled, persistent, and powerful champion of public health, public safety, public education, public works, and of course, public transportation. The 44th President of the United States of America, that would be Barack Obama. I want to make sure it's clear on who I'm quoting. President Obama once observed, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person, or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." From the very beginning of his career, Greg Stanton has been an incredible change agent. His commitment, of course, to public transportation began when Greg was on the Phoenix City Council, where he worked to implement Transit 2000, comprehensive effort to significantly improve bus service and create a light rail system. His innovative work continued upon his election as mayor of this great American city. Greg ran, as has been described, a courageous campaign, won a game-changing victory, and immediately got to work. As mayor, he tripled the reach of the light rail system, added more than 1,000 miles of bike lanes, expanded bus service hours, and significantly enhanced the sidewalk landscape in order to improve the pedestrian experience. And of course, during his time as mayor, Greg set into motion the transformational plan that brings us all here today. This station will launch more than 200 daily rail trips and over 400 daily bus trips, helping the people of Phoenix and this region to travel to work, get home, visit family, spend time with friends, worship together, and enjoy the abundance of life. It will improve efficiency, promote economic growth, and bring communities together. Now, there are hundreds of thousands of elected officials at every level of government throughout America, approximately 500,000. Most will never achieve this honor. Some just hope to have a broom closet named after them. But Greg Stanton has earned this incredible designation for all that he has done. Now, his journey is not complete. In Washington, Greg is a leader on the powerful Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in the House of Representatives, where he continues to champion effective, efficient, and equitable public transportation for the people of Maricopa County. During the last Congress, Representative Stanton worked hard to pass the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, helping to get the bill to President Biden's desk. As a result of this transformational legislation, we are fixing our crumbling bridges, roads, tunnels, airports, and enhancing and modernizing our mass transit systems, while at the same time creating millions of good-paying jobs for hard-working American taxpayers. Greg Stanton continues to deliver for his constituents. To sum it up, Greg is a good man, a hard-working man, a family man, a community man, a compassionate man, a consensus-seeking man, and a Phoenix Suns loving man. And I say that as a Knicks fan. Today is another milestone in what continues to be a stellar public service journey. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor. Job well done.
All right, could we give a warm welcome to Nicole Stanton? Thank you.
Didn't used to need these. Thank you so much, Seth. Before I begin, I want to first thank Mayor Gallego for leading the way to honor Greg in this way. Give her a round of applause. Our family appreciates your support and that of the city council members. So you could have chosen to put Greg's name on a library, a performing arts center, a park, something else related to the city. But should there be any doubt that a public transportation station in downtown Phoenix was the right naming opportunity for Greg, I want to put any doubts about that to rest. I've been part of Greg's life now for 9 political campaign cycles. In the very first one I participated in back in 2001, I remember him telling a story about his love of public transportation because his dad, Fred, took the bus to his job selling shoes at JCPenney every single day. At first, I thought that this story that he told was just to personalize himself on the campaign trail. But he told it time and time again, to the point where anybody who's been any part of Greg's political history could probably recite the facts themselves, right? You see, it wasn't just a story to make himself more likable. Public transportation is part of who Greg is. I remember when our son Trevor, who's here with me, was 4 months old, we moved into a new house. As I was shopping for real estate, I came home to tell Greg about a house that I was interested in buying. One of the downsides I explained to Greg was that the house was right on 12th Street and had a bus shelter and stop right outside what would be Trevor's window. Well, Greg didn't see that as a downside. He, in fact, saw it as a selling point of the house, and it would not be long after that and Trevor would learn to walk and talk, that he and Greg would be outside at the 12th Street bus stand learning how to do a bus transfer. As we traveled around the country as a family on various trips, before the airplane door even thinks about opening in a new city, Greg has scoped out how we can take public transportation from the airport to our hotel, regardless of how much baby gear we may have been carrying, and regardless of how much luggage we had in tow. I'll never forget the look on my mom's face when we arrived in DC for Greg's first congressional inauguration in January 2019. We had 2 weeks of luggage with us, and Greg suggested we take the metro to his house. An Uber or a taxi is sacrilegious if you are traveling anywhere in the world with Greg Stanton. This may explain why our son Trevor waited 2 years after he could get his driver's license to actually go and learn how to drive a car. He didn't need a car. Beginning at age 15, he was traversing Maricopa County by bus and light rail. He is truly his father's son. This honor is not just a reflection of Greg's good policy decisions while mayor and in Congress, but the sacrifices that go hand in hand with public service, particularly traveling back and forth to Washington, D.C. Our kids were ages 1 and 3 when Greg became mayor. That's a lot of missed birthday parties, basketball tournaments, family vacations, first dances, play performances, and parent-teacher conferences that he hasn't been able to attend. And in 2001, when Greg was put into a battleground congressional district thanks to redistricting, it meant he missed my chemo treatments and ringing the bell at Mayo Clinic after my radiation was complete. He went to DC instead, not because he wanted to, he certainly didn't, but because I insisted that we not let cancer prevent him from doing the job that he loves so much and serving his constituents. No matter the reason, even cancer, his absence and missed votes, if he had stayed, would have certainly been used against him by his opponents. That's just politics. That same year, in 2021, the insurrection happened. And my kids and I were lined up on the couch with my mom to watch Greg speak to defend the certification of the Arizona ballots. We always sit down and watch Greg when he's on TV. We could see what was happening outside of the Capitol and the unraveling of security for members of Congress. Trevor texted Greg and said, "Dad, are you okay?" Greg responded back, "Yeah, I'm a little nervous because my speech is nationally televised, but I'll be fine." We explained to him what was going on outside the building and the danger that they were in. Right about that same time, they realized the same and were whisked away to an undisclosed location. That day was very traumatizing for our kids, who were concerned about their dad's safety. In fact, later that summer, when we asked our daughter Violet if she wanted to go to DC that summer, she told us no, it's scary back there. It took a Girl Scout trip there that following year to convince her otherwise. On that trip, Greg led the girls on a trip to the Friday night Marine Barracks parade, which was a pretty good walk from our hotel where we were staying. During the event, it started to rain like cats and dogs. So walking back to the hotel was not an option. And you guessed it, neither was an Uber or a taxi. Greg suggested the metro back to the hotel, and the ride that night turned out to be one of the highlights for the Girl Scouts, many of whom had never ridden in a subway. That's Greg, always proselytizing public transportation. Public service is a family value of ours. Despite the many personal sacrifices that are required to do it well, it is ultimately worth it, and I know every member of our family agrees with that. Not because you get your name on a building, but because you get to be a small part of decisions that are made to make our community stronger and a better place for everyone. Greg, you've built a legacy that no one can undo, and Trevor and Violet and I are very proud of you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. That was pretty good, Nicole. Thanks, everyone, for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule for this special occasion for me and Nicole and our kids and my family that is here. Nicole and I have been married for 19 years, and together, as she mentioned, for 9 elections. Nicole has been an amazing partner and mother to Trevor and Violet, parenting 2 teenagers while your husband is away in Washington playing politics, all while maintaining her career as one of the best lawyers in the state of Arizona. Has to give her it's got to give her a special place in heaven, I hope, for that work. She's my partner, my #1 advisor now, just as she was when I first started on city council many years ago. And as she mentioned, even when battling breast cancer, she never wanted me to miss a single vote on the House floor. I am a fortunate guy. The Stanton siblings, they're in the house. My brother Paul is here, sister Susanna, my youngest sister Maria, her husband Charles, and my nephew Jaden there. Good to see you. I'm so happy that you were able to be here for this special occasion. If you grew up in the Stanton household in West Phoenix, you were taught early on that there is nothing more noble calling in life than serving others. Susanna, my sister, she's an impactful community outreach director for ABC 15. My brother Paul is superintendent of the Washington Elementary School District, where the Stanton kids went to school many years ago, and just won the award last year for the best large district school superintendent. And our youngest sister, Maria, she's an angel on this earth. This year, she marks 30 years as a special education teacher at the Spitolny School in the Cartwright School District. And I'm so lucky to be joined by these folks on stage who are my friends and colleagues, honored guests, elected officials from around Arizona and the country. First, leader Akeem Jeffries, serving with you in Congress is a great blessing. You guide our caucus with clarity, moral clarity, strategic vision, and style. And you can throw a good haymaker when it's deserved to the other side. You are one of the best leaders in this country, and I can't wait till you lead the entire country as Speaker of the House. Joe Neguse from Colorado. We did quickly become good friends when we came to Congress together 3 terms ago, and we were put on the same committee, the Judiciary Committee, which means 18-hour committee hearings and impeachment hearings. And I got to know your intelligence, your wit, your selflessness up close, a true servant leader. It's an honor that you made this trip. Thank you, Joe Neguse, for being here. What do you say about Ruben Gallego? We have worked together fighting the good fight in Arizona since you came here to Arizona, starting with that initiative where they tried to ban gay marriage in Arizona, and we worked together to fight that. We have been partners ever since, and I can't wait to see you in your new role on the other side of the United States Capitol. And I get to work with some great mayors in my district. Mayor Woods, Mayor Harkey, Mayor Giles. So thank you so much. You guys have busy schedules and you took the time to be here today. I try to bring a mayor mindset to Congress. And these 3, the people up on this stage, these mayors on stage, of course, including Mayor Gallego as well, they are the best partner a congressman could ever ask for. And I'm sorry to the other Congress members that are here, but I really do have the very best district in the entire country with these leaders. Thank you for being here. You are the best. Seth Scott, he and I have worked closely for over a decade. He was my chief of staff for 10 years, 5 when I was mayor, 5 now as a member of Congress. He is brilliant,
He is a principled leader, and Mayor Gallego in the city of Phoenix is so fortunate that he now works as your chief and for service to the people of the city of Phoenix. And of course, Mayor Gallego and the council members that are here. Council members O'Brien, she had to be out of town, unfortunately, for a death in the family. Councilman Waring, Stark, Pastor, Gudardo, Robinson, Galindo Elvira, and Hodge Washington. They are an awesome team at the city of Phoenix. Thank you. Thank you very much for this tremendous honor. It does mean the world to me. It is so wonderful to be here celebrating the naming of this transit station, which is the foundation of a landmark development project right here in the heart of the city. There's more energy now in downtown Phoenix than ever. You can feel it. The skyline is changing almost daily, and I'm told Central Station will be the second tallest building in the state of Arizona when it opens next year. Mayor, is it too late to add a few floors to it so we can make it number one? Please. This project, developed by Metastar, is a true game changer for the city. 1 million square feet of residential housing, student housing, restaurants, and retail right in the heart of the city. A transit-oriented development from day one, right above the light rail station and bus hub. It means such a great deal to me that this station will bear the Stanton name. My father's name. We lost our dad, Fred Stanton, earlier this year. But man, he would have loved being here for this event. I grew up in a working class family in West Phoenix. My mom, Mary Ann, was a part-time teacher. My dad, he did sell shoes at JCPenney at Park Central Mall just down the street. Our family only had one car. My mom got the car, so my dad took the bus every day to and from work. And my dad loved public transportation. And you know why? Because of the people that he met on his routes. Those bus regulars became some of his best friends and confidants. They celebrated good times like birthdays on the bus. They had each other's back through disappointments in their lives. Many of them didn't have family here or a solid support system. So in the Stanton household, we knew to always save an extra seat at the table for whoever might be invited for dinner, especially on Thanksgiving. Our bus stop for many years was right across the street at 39th Avenue in Dunlap. So as a kid, I'd often walk across the street and wait with my dad for the bus in the morning just for an extra 15 minutes with him. And when I was older, I was lucky to take the bus to my summer jobs at McDonald's and Kmart and to the YMCA to shoot hoops. For one family vacation, when our parents wanted the Stanton kids to experience the history and culture of the nation's capital, we took a Greyhound bus 3 days and 2 nights each way. And I still take the bus when I get around Washington, D.C. right now in Congress. My upbringing taught me the importance of accessible public transit, not just for my family, but for tens of thousands of families across the city. Good transit helps seniors, students, low-income families, people with disabilities to get to work, school, the grocery store, or the doctor's office. But by the 1990s, Phoenix public transit had fallen behind the city's rapid growth. And in a valley known for its over-reliance on cars and growth on the desert's edge, it was clear we were missing a key ingredient to really make Phoenix competitive with other global cities: a robust public transit system. Mayor Terry Goddard is here, and his great accomplishment more than anything else was reminding this valley of the importance of a downtown and having a strong downtown. We owe Terry a great debt of gratitude here in this city. And Mayor Skip Rimza, a Republican, saw that early on. In the late 1990s, he did send a transit initiative to the voters, and it barely lost. It was heartbreaking by just 122 votes. Most politicians would have given up at that time, said that's someone else's battle. Skip had courage. He had the courage to put it right back on the ballot in the year 2000, and with the support of Councilwoman Peggy Bilstein, a coalition of business leaders, many transit advocates, some who are right here in this room, and a brand new member on the Phoenix City Council, me, he pulled off what many thought was impossible, convincing voters that the most conservative big city in the country to tax themselves to build a mass transit system. T2000 was our first dedicated local funding source for transportation. And in 2008, as Mayor Woods said, we cut the ribbon on the original light rail line 20 miles from Phoenix all the way through Tempe into Mesa. It was a resounding success because the investments in public transportation always pays off for the economy. So when I became mayor, we knew we had to go even bigger. I asked the voters to double down on their investment and improve one of the most ambitious infrastructure investment plans in the nation, T2050, 35 years, $32 billion plan to fund street improvements, expand bus routes and dial-a-ride service citywide, add 1,000 miles of bike lane, triple the number of light rail lines, starting off by making sure we finally get light rail after all these years into South Phoenix, just down the street here. Many pundits thought it was crazy. You're going to put a tax increase as the centerpiece of your own re-election campaign, but when you believe in something as strongly as we believed, you've got to be willing to take a risk. And in 2015, voters gave me a second term, and on that same ballot, they overwhelmingly passed our transit plan. Now, Mayor Gallego told most of that story earlier, but what she left out of her story was that when we pushed forward to that campaign, I chose the right person on the city council to chair that campaign, and that was then Vice Mayor Kate Gallego. She was on the front lines. She was leading. Thank you, Kate. We are so fortunate to have a transit evangelist in the mayor's office right now. As a brand new mayor, Kate took on and defeated an anti-transit ballot initiative that would have eliminated light rail entirely. And guess what? When she was forced to deal with that, her first big issue as mayor was defending that light rail investment. Guess what? The voters reaffirmed its support for light rail even more than they did in the 2015 election. That's leadership, and we owe a great debt of gratitude to Mayor Gallego for fighting for Phoenix's future. There have been some naysayers. We know the naysayers. Some are in the legislature right now. But time has proven us right about the investments in public transportation. The major events that we promised, we've landed them. Final Fours, college football playoffs, Super Bowls that have brought billions worth of economic activity to our region, billions of dollars in private and public investment that we said would come. It has, all along the light rail corridor. Without light rail, the renaissance in our downtowns would not have happened. We never would have opened ASU's downtown campus or the Bioscience Core, the U of A Medical School, not to mention the billions of dollars of private investment here in the city center. And just this spring, we opened light rail expansion in Northwest Phoenix. Our family's from the West Side. We grew up right in Metro Center, right in that neighborhood. I couldn't be more excited to see the revitalization happening, an almost $1 billion project that will incorporate transit from day one, with the brand new transit center named after another great transit advocate in this community, the light rail station at Metro Center named after Thelda Williams. But it's not just Phoenix that has seen this economic transformation. Look at Tempe Town Lake, one of the hottest commercial districts anywhere in the state. Mesa's downtown is in the midst of a historic revival. I am so proud to represent Valley cities that have invested the most in transit. Cities with the most job growth, the most economic growth are the ones that have prioritized transit investments. Light rail has done more than lift our economy. It's changed the look and feel of our neighborhoods along the route. It's a game changer for housing in a region known for sprawl. We're building dense housing and walkable developments critical for our fight against climate change. Transit has always been more about moving people from point A to point B. It's a machine to transform our economic way of life. That's why I love serving on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in Congress. I've taken an all-of-Arizona approach, working hard to meet the needs of rural and tribal communities who so often have been shortchanged, and I spend so much time working with these leaders from Mesa, Tempe, Chandler, and Phoenix. And we've got some good results. Valley Metro has been able to expand their electric bus fleet, record passenger growth thanks to strategic investments at Sky Harbor and Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. From Flagstaff to Tucson, I've worked to support transit in communities across the state. Working with Mayor Woods in Tempe, we made sure Tempe streetcar will open on time and continues to grow. Working with Mayor Giles, we're going to expand that streetcar into Mesa. We're going to get that job done. And Mayor Hartke, we've partnered together to get funding for Transit's innovative micro-transit solutions, the last mile from transit to doorstep. And Mayor Gallego, yes, working together, we're going to bring Amtrak back to Phoenix. And there is a special group I want to acknowledge, and that is my talented and dedicated current and former staff that I've served with as city council, in the mayor's office, and now in Congress. None of this would be possible without your hard work, all those long days and nights in service of the people of Arizona. From the bottom of my heart, and I know Nicole feels the same way, thank you for your service to the people of this community. I am greatly indebted for your commitment to public service. Everyone here understands how important public transportation infrastructure is. My humble request to all of you is don't let up. We are in a magical moment right now in this region's history. If we can only keep up the momentum, if we continue to invest in ourselves, even when it's risky, especially when it's risky, the people of Maricopa County have a chance to pass a major transit plan this November. Now, I'm not going to tell anyone in this room how you should vote on that. But I'm voting yes. I'm telling you that right now. We need that thing to pass. All right, that's all I'm saying. I gotta leave it there. And while this station we're talking about today is dedicated to me, I just want to also dedicate it to my mom and dad. Fred and Mary Ann Stanton taught us kids that community means looking out for your neighbor, no matter who they are or where they came from. Public transit at its core, it's really about people. It connects people of all walks of life. It's such a great social equalizer. With good transit, everyone can take advantages of the limited opportunities here in Arizona. So Mayor and the City Council members, thank you for this great honor, and thanks everyone for being here and sharing this wonderful moment with me and my family. Thank you so much.
Now, folks, that concludes the speaking program or portion of the event, but we're now going to go see, if you have time to continue with us, the actual Central Station. We couldn't be outside today because of the heat, but if you're able to exit through those doors in just a minute, if you're up front, if you could follow Alicia, who's right here raising her hand. And if folks off stage want to, or on stage want to go through the back, we'll all get over there in just a few moments. Thank you.